Good morning, everyone. Good morning and welcome to the Windward Buddhist Temple Family Dharma Service, or Remembrance Dharma Service. My name is Linda Jaffe, and I will be your MC. We will begin with the ringing of the temple bell, or kansho, that signifies the beginning of a temple service. It is a deep and sacred ritual steeped in ancient tradition. It is the calling of the people to come together to listen to the Dharma or teachings. The temple bell represents the gratitude and deep appreciation of the members, friends, and guests of the Windward Buddhist Temple. Please sit quietly in your seats. Please rise for the meditation, followed by the chanting of the Vandana Ti-Sarana by the congregation in Pali and English. This is found in the red Jodo Shinshu service book on page 7. Please be seated. You can turn to page 9 in the red Jodo Shinshu service book, where Reverend Barbara Brennan will be leading us in the Sanbutsuge, the Remembrance aspiration. Today is Remembrance Day service. We will now have the remembrance of those individuals and pets who passed away this month in any year. Reverend Brennan will hit the gong, daikin, several times to start this portion of the service. Then the names of the deceased will be announced. Please go forward to offer incense. Then Reverend Brennan will hit the gong again for the next names. After the last name is called and the incense offered, she will hit the gong several times. She will then go directly into the Sutra Sanbutsuge on page 46 in the red service book. Harry M. Hiramoto. Each one. Satomi Takashiba. Reverend Yoshiaki Fujitani, Hideo Yanagisawa, and Glenn Yanagisawa, Jane Shigeo Funai, should I read them all? Mangoro Fukumoto, and David Inaba. Denojo Matsuda and Haruyo Nishimoto. Harold Yingling.
It is difficult and sad to lose someone we love. Unfortunately, everyone has to experience this event. Even though we grieve for our family member who is dying, as Shin Buddhists, we believe that they become awakened to the heart and mind of Amida Buddha, and at the time of death, they are directed to the Pure Land by Amida Buddha. There they join the ranks of the truly settled, for they attain nirvana, the place of eternal bliss and tranquility. They have attained Buddhahood, and it is taught that our loved ones then return to this world to teach and guide us to the Pure Land. We honor with deep gratitude the families and pets of members of the Windward Buddhist Temple who have passed away in the month of May. It is with deepest gratitude for the boundless wisdom and compassion and blessing of Amida Buddha that we take refuge in the three treasures. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Nyoze Shojin
Shokudokuju Gagyo Shojin Nijo Uke Namandabu
Please rise for the creed, the second creed, on page 4 in the Jodo Shinshu service book, the red book. Casting off the self-power mind
of very practices and disciplines, we entrust ourselves single-mindedly to Amida Tathagata to save us in regard to the one great matter of birth. With one thought moment of entrusting, we know that we are saved and that our birth is settled. After this, we say the name in joy and gratitude, repaying the Buddha's graciousness. We acknowledge gratefully that we are able to hear and understand this teaching because of the Master having appeared in this world, and of the successors in the transmission, the good teachers whose words were not shallow. Beyond this, we will observe the established rules of conduct throughout our lives. Namo Buddhas. Namo Buddhas.
Please continue to stand for the Gatha, Splendor of an Evening Sky, in the brown book, page 156. be seated. For our Dharma talk, our speaker today will be board member, Mr. Neil Yamamoto.
Good morning, everyone. And thank you for this opportunity to talk with you all today on this Remembrance Sunday. This weekend's also Memorial Day weekend, and for me and for my family, that usually means me firing up the grill, cooking some steaks or chicken or ribs over the coals, maybe some corn on the cob, and maybe even some watermelon. It's the unofficial start of summer. School kids are out of school. Teachers are cleaning up or cleaning out their classrooms. And most people seem pretty happy that summer is finally here. But in reality, summer doesn't officially begin until June 21st. On Memorial Day, along with the month of May, are dedicated to our military, as May is Military Appreciation Month, and Memorial Day is set aside as the day that we honor those who gave their lives in the service of our country. Punch bowl over there, and where I work at Pearl Harbor over there. While I normally talk all about food during my Dharma talks, I know you all remember my Dharma of the loco moco and the plate lunch and the spam musubi and all of that. I don't think I'm going to do that today. Cue the awe. Okay. But today is a special day. And today, since it's Remembrance Sunday and Memorial Day, I think I'd talk about that instead. Did you know that Memorial Day has its origins in the American Civil War? Immediately after the war, Confederate widows and children would decorate the graves of the Confederate soldiers. Soon, Union widows and children would join the commemoration. And in 1868, Decoration Day was observed as a National Day of Remembrance by way of General Order 11, issued by General John Alexander Logan. You see him right there. He was the Commander-in-Chief of the Grand Army of the Republic, a Civil War veterans organization, not the one in Star Wars, in case anybody can. And today, Memorial Day is set aside as the last Monday of the month of May, as a time for, quote, all Americans to pause and give thanks to those who gave their lives in the service of the United States of America. For me, though, every day is Memorial Day. In my job as the Battleship Missouri Memorial, I've been tasked with the educating of school children about the battleship and about World War II. And as many of you know, I recently completed my master's degree in World War II studies at Arizona State University. My job for the past 16 years has been to help people figure out the best way to remember World War II, by telling the stories of the men and women who fought, died, and lived throughout that war. And in my experiences at the ship and in my personal life, I've had the very good fortune to meet many of that greatest generation. And so I thought today that I would tell a few remembrances of some of the people that I've met who sacrificed so much for all of us. The first one is Mr. Art Albert. Art was one of the original crew members aboard USS Missouri, coming aboard in June of 1944 as a 17-year-old kid from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I remember him telling me that he had never seen a ship so big in his life. He said he also remembered that as a kid, growing up in the 1920s and 30s, the Navy seemed like some kind of grand adventure. And that if he signed up, he'd get his very own set of clothes, not a hand-me-down from his older brothers. he'd get 3 square meals a day, and he'd know what he'd have to do the next morning. So it was natural then that Art went to the recruiting station in Hattiesburg at age 17 and forged his mother's signature. And he went off to join the Navy and see the world. He was aboard when World War II ended and served the Navy through the Korean and Vietnam Wars, retiring as a Chief Petty Officer in 1974. But he said that the best times of his life were when the USS Missouri was his home, because he knew he was safe there. Art passed away in 2020 at the age of 93 years old. Art was a self-described old salty sailor. He was my friend, and I'm very grateful for him. The second I wanted to share about is Mr. Paul Takashi Kusunoki. Mr. Kusunoki was a man who I knew as my scoutmaster. He was a man who had all the answers about camping, cooking outdoors, knot tying, and the things that my brother and I called scoutcraft. I remember seeing him every Friday night with his vinyl briefcase, Boy Scout Class A uniform, and his metal cane fashioned from an old golf club. Every year in September, the scouts of our troop, along with a few other troops in the Kaneohe area, would place flags at the grave sites of the men of the 100th and 442nd Regiment. Mr. Kusunoki was a member of Able Company, the 100th Separate Infantry Battalion, back in 1943. And all I knew at the time when I was a scout was that Mr. Kusunoki had served in World War II. As I got older and I started my journey as a World War II historian, I found out that Mr. Kusunoki received a Purple Heart for being wounded in the back during combat in France. And he received a Silver Star for evacuating and rendering first aid to wounded fellow soldiers while under direct and heavy fire. Mr. Kusunoki told us in scouting only once about the wounds he suffered during the Second World War. It was at a scout meeting on Friday night, and we were exceptionally unruly that night. We were kids. And so he sat us down, and in his low, baritone voice, he told us that a piece of shrapnel from a Nazi mortar had nearly severed his spinal cord, knocked him out, and when he came to, he was in an army hospital, recovering from his wounds. He then reached into that vinyl briefcase and pulled out a small medicine bottle wrapped in a piece of gray cloth. He pulled out a piece of metal from that piece of cloth and said, "This was the shrapnel that they removed from my back." He then dabbed at his eyes slightly and said, "Boys, I had a second chance. Don't go wasting yours." Mr. Kusunoki passed away in 2018 at the age of 96, having mentored over 60 Eagle Scouts during his tenure as a Scoutmaster of Troop 216, including my brother Miles and myself. These two men were my friends and mentors. And while this Dharma talk was meant to memorialize them, it is also meant to express my deep gratitude and appreciation for their mentorship and friendship all the years I knew them. And while I'm very sad that they're not here in the flesh anymore, I cannot help but be grateful that they lived and that they were a part of my life, influencing me to be a better historian and a better person. Similarly, the teachings that I understand, and as I understand them, tell me that I should live my life in gratitude for Amida Buddha's wisdom and compassion. So as we celebrate the start of this weekend, of the start of this summer, this weekend, by firing up our grills, putting out the beach chair, and enjoying a cold one, Let's remember Memorial Day as well. Let's give thanks for those who have sacrificed for us and those who have made us the people that we are today. So please join me in kansho. Memorial Day and Remembrance Sunday is a day for us to remember and give thanks for those who've come before us, who've paved the way for us to live our lives in gratitude for their wisdom and their mentorship. Let us remember that in all things, we should give thanks and gratitude always and in all ways. Namo Amida Butsu. And thank you for listening.
You got your master's. That's amazing. Congratulations. Congratulations. Please rise for the Gatha golden chain that's on the sheet that we got when you came in. And then continue to stand for the Nembutsu, which is on page 135 in the red book.
Shonin taught that the true meaning of a person's life is determined by living with awareness of the Buddha's compassion, moment to moment throughout one's life. Shinran taught that the spirit of mindfulness and gratitude in which the words Namo Amida Butsu are recited is more important than the number of recitations. We are everything we have ever seen, heard, smelled, tasted, touched, and thought. Furthermore, we will become everything we are now seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and thinking. In Jodo Shinshu, our feelings of gratitude extend to all those whose lives have made our existence possible. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu.
Please be seated. That concludes our service. Dennis, do we have any announcements?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Reverend Barbara, for leading our service. Neil, for giving that wonderful message, how today and this weekend is so special in many ways. For Linda, for being our MC. Jerry, for being our greeter. And Shirley, for ringing the kansho. Joy, for playing the piano. And of course, Ryan, for recording this service today. Today's refreshment is by Team B, that's led by Dana. Announcements. On Monday, June 12, Windward Buddhist Temple will be visiting the Waimanalo Japanese Cemetery that is located on Bellows Air Force Station, a Marine Corps training area. We received permission to have up to 15 people on the site. If you'd like to join us to offer flowers and have a memorial service, there is a sign-up sheet it's in one of the on the main table in the back. We need to provide the Marines with the names of the people visiting and also license plate numbers of those cars that will be driving out there. We'll meet here at the temple at 9 o'clock before driving out to the cemetery. If you have any questions, you can see me. I checked further on the Motoshiki show. I went to the headquarters, and they do have actually several varieties. I took pictures of them, and I have them on the back table, so you can look through it. The prices are shown. If you're interested in anything or you have any questions, come see me, and if you want, I could pick it up for you. On July 8th, that's our date of our Bon Dance. That is also the date of a Mahalo luncheon for the outgoing bishop, Bishop Eric Matsumoto. It'll be held at the Alamono Hotel Hibiscus Ballroom. Let's see, the time, where did the time go? 11? Oh, 10:30 registration, 11:30 luncheon. For some of us, that's going to be a very busy day preparing for the Bon Dance. But anyone who would like to attend the luncheon, please see me. I have a sign-up sheet. Let's see, there is a cost. It's $70 by check per person or $75 by credit card. So again, any questions, see me. Next Sunday, June 4th, will be our first Sunday family service geared towards families. I will be doing the Dharma talk, and I will read a children's book again for the children and the young at heart. After the service, we will have an intergenerational activity led by Prudence, and Prudence will now explain what she'll be doing, or what we'll be doing.
I'll tell you, I didn't want to bring in sample because it's called paper tricks. So it's really cool. But I'll show you how you can walk through it. Now, anyway, we'll have one.
What did you call it? Paper
Paper tricks.
trick?
Tricks, you know, I give you a piece of paper and I tell you to walk through it, can you do it? But I'll show you.
Okay, that got me interested.
Okay. That's just one of them.
Okay. And Cynthia wanted to mention something too.
Sorry, I can't yell as loud as Prudence. Okay. Anyway, good morning. So as I briefly mentioned to you last week, we will be having a mini rummage sale as part of our country market at our upcoming Bon Dance in July. So if any of you would like to donate gently used items, we would really appreciate it. So the donation drop-off dates are the last 3 Sundays in June. Since we have very limited storage to hold your donations, we ask that your items be brought on the specified dates. And an information flyer is being passed out right now by Roy, and it will also be posted on the information board outside. Thank you very, very much for supporting this effort.
Any other announcements? And welcome back, Reverend Bert, from his trip to Japan. I'm sure there'll be a lot of stories he'll be sharing. Oh, Bob.
Sorry it took so long. I finally got, this was donated months ago, and I was reading it, and I finally logged it in, so you can now borrow. It's called Japanese Buddhist Temple in Hawaii. So it will be in the library, so you can borrow anytime now. Thank you. What did I do? I'll come back for that.
I'll look for it. Any other announcements? Oh, Bert.
Morning, everyone. I'd like to talk about our Dharma class that has been going on since April. Somehow we can't seem to end it. And it's still going on, and I think finally we're going to have our last class this coming Saturday. Hopefully. But we can never tell. The reason why is that, we keep talking story and asking questions, which is a good thing. So anyway, it might end this Saturday, but who knows?
Okay, it's time for food. Let's do the words of thanksgiving, found on page 126 of the Red Service Book. We are truly grateful for this wonderful food, a gift of life. May we share its benefits with all beings. As we partake of this food, let us remember Amida Buddha's teaching, which surrounds all people and all forms of life. Namo Amida Butsu. Itadakimasu. Thank you, everyone.